the honest truth. And when people come there and visit Iowa, you will see that. You know, you will go in there and you will feel like it's a home instead of a house.
Yeah. But what brought you to Iowa in the first place? Indianapolis is a little bit more diverse.
Yeah.
So was that like a culture shock for you coming into Iowa?
Yeah, it definitely was. But so I'm from Decatur Central, right? So that's on the south side. That ain't like, you know, the blackest part of Indianapolis. But so I wasn't like, you know, surprised, but it was definitely like just a culture shock, just about like some of the things that they did and something they didn't know about, and how they acted in certain ways. But I do believe right now that it was probably the best decision for me to go there. Just how things are playing out and how God works, I feel like this was definitely like a great move.
What are some tangible changes you've seen in the program that let you know that it's progressing?
Coach Ferentz, that's an easy answer. He definitely helped us out in multiple ways. He has put it in a place, it's called the DEI. So it's basically just a program where not just, you know, minorities can go to, but everybody can go to and talk about, you know, any type of issues that they have, dealing with, you know, either racial injustice or anything that's going on within the world, right? So you can go there and let out some steam, basically, and just talk to them. I think before, you can go talk to your position coach, but you didn't have nobody else to go to after that. So I think he tried to make sure that we all feel at home, and we all feel safe when we're there.
How much have you used those resources?
I use it a lot. We have meetings, not monthly, probably like every other month. And I'm on me, Dane Belton, Kayvon Merriweather, and Ivo Kelly Martin. We're all on the team within our actual team, just to talk about what's going on within our team, our organization. So we talk to Coach Ferentz probably every once a month, to make sure if there's any changes that need to happen, and if there isn't, you know, we don't really have to change anything. But if there changes that needs to happen, then Coach Ferentz makes sure he does that.
What was last weekend like? And I know a lot of the former players came back, and guys that are on the advisory committee, former players. What was that like getting to talk to them?
It was great. It was amazing. You would never think that some of the players would come back that did, like Robert Gallery. He was there, and I mean, he was like massive, but you know, I love talking to him. I love like just seeing the brotherhood, like everybody coming back and giving back to Iowa. Like that is amazing. I don't think you probably get that a lot of places, but Iowa is like, no matter, you know, who you was or how big of a part of the team you was, you all still came back and still celebrated, you know, your time here. Once you play for Iowa, you know, you always will be in that brotherhood.
I'm from Omaha, so I wanted to ask about Keegan Johnson.
Yeah.
He joined your program in January, and I'm curious what kind of progress he's made. I know he's listed behind you, so I guess you know him a little bit because he's playing your position.
Yeah. So Keegan is doing really well right now. There obviously are some things that he can get better at, just like every other freshman. But when he came there, he was just developed beyond the other freshmen. His routes were really good. He was very explosive. And his hands were really good. Like, this is all like the great things to hear from a receiver. So when you talk about Keegan Johnson, you just talk about overall good receiver. It
seems like you guys, as just skill players, I'm counting receivers and running backs. This is about as good as Iowa's been in a while. I know it's a program that's defined by its line play, but I'm guessing you guys are pretty proud of your work too.
Yeah, we definitely are. I think we wide receivers, tight ends, and running backs, I think we have a great mix to have a explosive unit, if I'm being honest with you. I think, with all of our tight ends and all of our running backs and plus the receivers, I mean, there's a lot of people you can get the ball to. And once we get the ball in our hands, we can really light up the field.
Have you talked to Spencer at all about getting more involved in the game, and how are you two clicking in this offseason?
Yeah, I mean, me and Spence kind of talk a lot. We're locker buddies, so we talk pretty often. But for us to connect on the field, we got to connect off the field. So we just have basically just throwing sessions, like twice a week, and then we also have a walkthrough, just to go through all the situations that happen on the field mentally. Like, it ain't like full speed on, but you are getting the mental reps.
He talked about the importance of anticipation, so hitting you when you're in stride.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen that from him? Have you seen that kind of progress?
Yeah, and if he doesn't get it, we do it over again. But yeah, we definitely do that, and not just 7-on-7, but even in like walkthroughs, he makes sure he's taking the correct steps. We make sure that we're taking the correct steps so the timing is right. Like that's how detailed it is. You know, all the way down to like just making sure that when he's ready to throw the ball, us receivers are there, and I'm responsible for that.
How would you describe his personality?
What's Spencer's vibe off the field? How does he relate to everybody? Is he, Nate Stanley was notoriously very quiet, but kind of showed a quiet leadership. Is he different in that way?
Yes. So Nate is kind of the opposite. Spencer is kind of the opposite of Nate, right? So Nate was kind of quiet, but Spencer, he kind of you will hear him. Let me just say that you'll hear him in the background, just talking in your ear, not really necessarily being bossy, but just being a good leader. Saying, hey guys, let's get this one rep. Let's finish this conditioning rep. Let's get one more rep of bitch. He'll like do a lot of talking basically. But then off the field, he'll also come up, talk to you, and tell you what you need to get better at. But if you give him criticism, he'll take it to heart, and he'll actually try to work on that. So I think me and Spence, our connection is pretty good right now.
What about non-football? Do you ever talk about anything besides football?
Yeah, Spence, he loves the guitar. He loves playing the guitar. He loves singing. So like we always talk about our hobbies, right, and what we do in our downtime. And Spence is a big believer on make sure every part of your day is leading you to get better in some way, on and off the field. So we have actually started like a Bible study, and like we invited Spence. Spence come to that. Like we are literally like probably together 90% of the week. I would say he's more he's taking a stand. I would say that. I think he was more passive in last year, and I think he's kind of just let a lot of things slide. But I think he's taking a stand. He's actually standing up for what he believes, and that gains respect when you do that. Like when you actually stand up for what you believe, and you actually walk the walk instead of just talk the talk. You actually go out there and do it. You gain respect from your peers, and I think that's what happened in this offseason. He gained a lot of respect, not from only us, but from the coaches, and hopefully the fans can see that in the fall.
It seems like he has a lot of self-awareness, where he understands if he did something wrong or he needs to improve on something, and he really goes for it. Like going to Tony Rasiopi, the quarterback. Does that instill more confidence possibly with you and your teammates, just that he's willing to continue?
Yeah, I think it helps us all, just continue to figure out something that we can get better at. Spence is never complacent. He's always thinking about what's next that he can get better at. And I also think that inspires us to look within ourselves and look ourselves in the mirror, like, what else can I do? What else can I do to get better? Spence might not know this, but with him working, you're other people looking up to you and doing the same thing that you're doing. You might not understand or notice that we are doing it, but we are. And that's just being a good leader, leading by example. He might not tell us to go figure out something, but just by him doing that, we are following his lead.
Tyrone, what do you expect out of the Big Ten West race this season?
I expect a good race, honestly. I think there's a lot of good teams. I think Iowa is going to be one of them. I really do. I think we have a good team. I think we have an explosive offense. We always have a good defense, so hopefully, that will stand true again this year. But if our offense can get going like we did towards the end of last season, then I think we'll be a very dangerous team.
How important are the rivalries with Minnesota and Wisconsin to you guys?
They're pretty big. Those are trophy games, so we always want to prepare and for every game, but also bring home the trophies. So I think that's really big for us.
In the college football world, looks like Texas and Oklahoma are going to be leaving for the SEC. You have any opinion on that?
Not really. I don't really have an opinion on it. If they come to the Big Ten, they're going to get great work too. They're going to get great competition just like they did in the SEC.
You said you worked out in Texas with a coach that works with Ezekiel Elliott. How did that connection come about, and what did you learn?
So, my cousin, he actually worked with someone from down there in an organization called True Buzz. And then through True Buzz, the owner actually knows a lot of people. You know, he got a lot of connections, so he helped me out and actually got me in contact with a couple different people while I was down there. And I trained with them, and it was amazing. It really was, and I can't thank him enough. But while I was down there, I did, like I said, I made some connections, and they basically said, you know, whenever I want to come back, I can come back. So I think it turned out well, and I'm blessed. I am blessed that I went down there.
What's the name of